In the coming day, the Lord will return to this holy land. Then the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together.
I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
Travis, my gazelle. Well, the church news video of church videos, clips, which YouTube cleared with no problems, indicates that a Mormon YouTube employee down in Utah County had started work at 5 p.m. Somebody committed a felony. Somebody committed a felony. And he doesn't care. Consequences. Trying to save Mormon lives, even that dumbass YouTube Mormon employee. But he is past feeling. He is ripened for destruction. And I've been doing 8.7K plus videos for you all these latter days that are now over with. Warning you, going over doctrine, going over prophecies, going over the dates of the prophecies, going over my dreams, going over the Exodus year, going over this year, because apparently the Exodus year was just a test run, so said Oaks. He didn't bother to tell me. I found out through a chain back to Sister Jessica at the end of last year, in November. And so, Law of Purim, from Deuteronomy 19:19, the punishment for false accusers. False accusers always think they're going to get away with it. And yet, as I just told you about Sister Jessica exposing Oaks. Yep, the learning of the wicked. They think they are wise when they are just stupid in their hate. Eternal hatred towards Travis. And again, I had thrown this away. I had to pull it out for this video because I'm using it again. If the church is true if the church news tonight is true doctrine, then it should have been left alone by the YouTube Mormon employee, as YouTube said it was okay. And he instead came back and said, no! The church doesn't own their own videos. Sam does. There's a reason why the church no longer publishes the famous portrait of Jesus. It's because the painter is an apostate and got greedy, demanded more money. And so the church said, fine, we're no longer using it. Bleep you. And so everybody, since these apostates who try to extort the church for more money, the church now makes sure that those who they use, Sam, no longer have copyrights. It's the church now. And this dumbass is too young to know about this, as he thought he got me to shut down the breakout video that it was becoming. If you are that scared that the church needs to be defended by you, that terrified of me, that somehow by having me get as much views as Alyssa Grenfell is going to destroy the church, whereas Alyssa isn't. If you're that wetting your pants in fear and trembling of me, then the church obviously isn't true. If the church can't speak for themselves, it ain't true if you have to step in and defend them or apologize for them. So, Trump Ice 2025. I've been warning you for years about this. This is the whole reason why I changed the theme of my channel, is because of my #1 video still on this channel because of the YouTube Mormon employee down in Utah County. Under orders of the Strengthening Church Members Committee, under orders of the President of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Because it was 2018. Nelson was now taking over. It was not Monson. Monson let me go. Nelson attacked. I have the, what do they call it? It's not the algorithms, it's the stats. Whatever the stats they call it, it's also an A word. It's a 4-letter A word. But regardless, I can probably figure it out from the, maybe. Yeah, analytics. My analytics page. It reveals a lot of detailed information, even though there's a lot of detailed information they're withholding from me when they didn't on the website that I used to have, until Nelson shut it down. But that video that 40,000 saw, and where are they now? I have now fulfilled with the fruit of that seed video. You can now judge me by my fruit of 8.7K videos from that one seed video back in July 2017. And if it sounds vaguely familiar, it's because that comes from the scriptures. That's what you're all supposed to be doing. That's part of what I've been teaching you to do. And you won't do it. You'd rather follow a title than someone who has demonstrated beyond a shadow of a doubt the gifts. Because the church has to be true at all costs. But I warned that it meant the destruction of the United States of America and the great and abominable church. And so I would go on. I knew the scriptures, and so I would tell you and warn you about section 101, verse 51. And the enemy came by night and broke down the hedge, and the servants of the nobleman arose and were affrighted and fled, and the enemy destroyed their works and broke down the olive trees. And I've corrected the manuals that want you to believe that you are the servants. And that somehow the servants are the olive trees? Or not involved? They're exempt. When it's exceedingly clear in the context of Joseph Smith's Doctrine and Covenants that the servants are the missionaries, and thus the quorum of the 12 apostle missionaries at the very top. And yet, and then I would find out about the Joseph Smith papers, thanks to a Mormon who was going to show me Harmony is not north of Pittsburgh. And so he showed me a document that was from the Joseph Smith papers that I didn't know about. Church was keeping it a sacred secret. And that Jasmine, she doesn't know about the Joseph Smith papers. And the church has gone out and said, yeah, it's a finished product. It's all done. And then came out and added a few more stuff that I did a 6-hour video series on. But yeah, it's finished, it's up, ready to go. Stanford had to send me the full comment that somehow I didn't get, that quoted from the Joseph Smith papers of a meeting of minutes. And so yes, I found the source of the Mormon myth for the Constitution hanging by a thread. It's actually upon the brink of ruin. It was 19 July 1840, and I found as I read it, oh, he's commenting on verse 51. 19 July 1840. Whereas section 101 was December 16th, 1833, and was put into the 1835 Doctrine and Covenants. And so he's commenting on this scripture. and expounding upon it, and names the enemy. And I told you, when I did the video of it formatted as scripture with footnotes, that I put it on Academia for you so that you can read it, so that you can have your own copy if you want. I don't do this as priestcraft, Sam. Because Mormons, at least in my generation, were all about, oh, we're going to get extra scripture. That's going to be so cool. And then the 90s came around and went to Canada, and they're all saying, oh, I don't want more commandments. Scripture is commandment? What? Because the church had been slamming Mormons into thinking that scriptures means more commandments, not prophecies of the latter days. And so that's why the church won't finish the book of Abraham and never touch the book of Joseph, because it's got more commandments. We don't want the higher laws that we'll have to be judged by. You know, Plato's allegory of the cave is so true. Definitely needs to be added as scripture. So true. So verse 6. I'm reading from my copy. Then the enemy shall come as a thief in the night, and broke down the hedge, and the servants of the nobleman arose and were affrighted and fled. And thus the enemy did scatter, deport the servants and the 12 olive trees. All Christians believe that the Jews are wrong. That the Jewish authors needed to be corrected with the first creed of Christianity. That Jesus is the Christ, not the Jewish Christ. And that Jesus, having utterly destroyed the Jews with his first coming, is coming again to destroy who? Everybody, all mankind. A human extermination event called Armageddon. And this was going to be a separate video, but we might as well use it now since I just introduced it. Falling Skies, Steven Spielberg, Jew. It therefore is in the learning of the Jew. Falling Skies is about an Armageddon event in which there's an exodus to try to get to a Zion in North Carolina. Learning of the Jews in a story form which is not real. Battlestar Galactica, Mormon. Thus, Battlestar Galactica is written in the learning of the Mormon. Again, it is a story. It is not true. But it is based on the understanding of the Mormon for the latter days, with an Armageddon and an Exodus to find the 13th lost tribe, rather than the 13th lost tribe, Enoch, coming to earth to the restored 10 tribes. Okay? So, left behind, the Christian version. Armageddon happened. but no Exodus. Christians don't want to follow the Jews. And so, this is what has been happening. Christians have been in charge of everything going on. And you'll never guess who's at the top pulling the puppet strings of Christians who think they're the puppet masters of Trump. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are the secret combination puppet masters of Christians who are the puppet masters of Trump, who is the puppet master of America. Everybody thinks they're a puppet master. Oaks got peaked. Oaks confessed, yeah, we're using Christians to use Trump to cause Armageddon. Oh, if Islam, if you're listening, I hope you understand the church betrayed you. And you're upset with Trump. I warn, nobody believes, nobody listens. You all think you know better. You don't care about consequences. Joseph Smith is talking about Mormons. He's not talking about an enemy of the Jews in Jerusalem. And yet Christians say, no, Jews are wrong. Book of Mormon is wrong. Joseph Smith is wrong. Because that was this morning's video, in case you missed it. All the prophecies are about you, Mormons. I've produced the fruit. Judge. That's why the Mormon employee down in Utah County for YouTube committed a felony crime, because he thinks that the church is going to be destroyed if people see my video about how the church is using spiritual healing instead of physical healing. What? Whatever. Get over yourself, you sensitive snowflake. I can't get through to people who refuse to listen. And so Trump fulfilled Joseph Smith's prophecies, just not for Mormons. Like last night, having the Jews flee on eagle's wings to America, fulfilling Isaiah 49 and a couple of others that I went over in the video, just like other scriptures that Trump has been fulfilling, others that Nelson has spoken at the Pulpit of Conference and in other videos. He was wounded in the house of his friends. Blew off his ear. It's gone. I'm a quick healer. And for anybody to still think that it wasn't a red flag incident because the firefighter got shot, we're just not investigating it. Oh my hell. You saw the blood, didn't you? He made sure you saw the blood. The photographer made sure you saw the blood. But his ear has no wounds. Wait, that's in Revelation chapter 13. He was wounded and he was healed. Huh. Another Christian self-fulfilling prophecy. But wait, that's the beast. Not the Christ. Oops. Nobody said Christians were brilliant. Nobody said they were literate. I've been doing all these videos, trying to get through to you guys. You're not getting it. When I did the final 4, oh, well, he's not posting them anymore, so we don't need to believe it anymore. Let alone remember. I had the 3 columns. One was for Trump, one was for the church, one is the Jewish prophecies of the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith also. And we can put Christians in there, which Trump is fulfilling, but I told you, Trump did everything. The church, Cox threw a wrench in that one. And we're still waiting for the actual prophecies for the final 4, when they've all happened. The dates, the prophecies, up until the final 4 have all happened. All we're waiting for is the fall of the United States of America and the great and abominable church of Jesus Christ, and the transfer to the real Mormon, who's the man like Moses, so that he then takes you in an exodus to Zion, where we live in peace and harmony for a millennium, as long as you obey the one commandment of love. No monetary system of economy. No priestcraft. But section 119 says, yeah, priestcraft for the millennium. That's Jesus's economy. Whatever. You're gonna believe who you're gonna believe, but you can't deny the prophecies because they've all happened. The Jewish prophecies, the Book of Mormon prophecies, Joseph Smith's prophecies will happen. But it's based on the law of Purim of the false accusers, Christianity. They are forcing their interpretation to come true. And they did it again. Trump putting his foot on the Mount of Armageddon, parting it to save the Jews. Yeah, it's botched. Like I said, Christians aren't known for intelligence. They don't call it the Dark Ages for nothing. And yes, an ear is not the palms of his hands or feet or side or the whips on the back. Crown of thorns. Because it's all literal history, Travis. God. See, no, Christians can't cause the stigmata on Trump. Only Christine. Right, Arnold Schwarzenegger? Oh, that's an R-rated movie. You never saw that one. Too bad. So sad. Yeah, that took some Hollywood liberties on that. Far beyond what the scriptures say. But a whole bunch of people believe it, as if it was from the Bible. Let alone the Demi Moore Seven Seals, is it? Or Seventh Seal? So far I'm being protected from the Mormon YouTube employee. So let's dare to check. See, the latter days, since I was a kid, had been a favorite topic of mine. I've told you about that in numerous videos. And so yes, whenever a movie would come out about the latter days, I'm all over it. As long as it's not Christian. Oh, Demi Moore. Seventh Sign. Yeah, that's what it's called. Seventh Sign. 1988, rated R, horror drama. Apocalyptic drama is what it should be. 1 hour, 37 minutes. And so, let's go over what's in the news. Since everybody left humiliated that the church isn't true, and they just, if they just stop listening, maybe it'll be true again. So, we'll just go down the list. The Dems are calling for impeachment. Dems aren't the brightest people in the stick either. They're falling right into Trump's trap. Because Trump wants an excuse to lock you up, to deport you. Sure, just hand it to him. Go ahead, I dare you. So what they're doing by saying that Trump shouldn't have bombed Iran is saying that they support Iran. Iran are terrorists. And so the Dems support terrorism. That's what they're saying. By calling for the impeachment of Trump, they're saying we're terrorists. We want to coup the government. Falling right into Trump's trap. That's what he wants them to do. He wants an excuse to lock him up for insurrection. Just like they tried to do to him. And they just don't think. They get all emotional and response videos. Let's get this reaction. Polls react. Breaking news, poll data. Of only 100 people surveyed over and over again for leading questions that we want answered a certain way so that we can force the president to do what we want him to do. Dear God, whatever happened to reporting the facts? What happened to those days? Where are they? They're all gone. So the Iran leader, he's run crying to Putin. He's trying to convince Putin to go against his ex, Trump. And so, yeah, Iran better not find out that the church is in charge of all this. Because Iran believes that the church funded the terrorism against Israel. That they funded other things for them. Just like they did for Putin just like they did for China. Church is funding terrorism worldwide. And so, yeah, once all of these nation leaders realize, wait a minute, you set us up, you gave us the money to help us fund our terrorism, but you knew we'd be betrayed. I tried to warn you in the beginning, guys. Cozy Bear, where are you now? I tried to warn you back in the days where I was trying to see if you could provide me with Steven Seagal's latest video, and then you did on Amazon months later at an enormous price. What the hell, guys? Trying to save your lives. I even gave it to you. The letter from the Cairo of Constantine in your script. And this is how you treat me. This is how you treat me. I mean, yeah, Russians are suspicious. Everybody is raised up to cheat on other people. And so everybody's suspicious of everybody else. And so it's a survival of the fittest out in Russia. So you have to bribe your butcher to get meat that is not turning brown and green and you know, the ones on display. Here's several billion rubles. Can I have your special stock, please? Duh. Unbelievable. So, yeah. Trump also came out and said, after bombing them with the bunker busters, now is the time for peace. He threw it back at him. I did the videos. Peacemaker doesn't mean peacemaker. It means peace after you're dead. And he did it. He did it. So yes, as according to the prophecy, it was during the night. And so it was called Operation Midnight Hammer. It's hammer time. As a thief in the night. Try to warn. And so, guess where they're from, the bombers? Independence, Missouri. Independence, Missouri. Yeah, well, it's in Missouri at the base that's there in Missouri, but hilarious. And protests across the United States, but specifically New York as well, because AOC is in charge of calling for the impeachment. They're going to lock you up. You're going to be an insurrectionist. You're not getting it. And so, yes, this is going to come back and bite the church. Prophecy said so, Mormons. Don't think you're getting away with this because Cox is cheating the system. Cheating the system is what gets you in trouble. Right, Oaks? Right, Nelson? You think you're going to get away with it, and it always comes to bite you in the bunker buster.